perched on a limestone cliff above the winding River Wye, where the tides carve secrets into the Welsh countryside. Chepstow Castle looms as one of Wales' most enduring landmarks. Its ancient walls, weathered by centuries of rain and war, rise like a sentinel, their Norman towers and medieval battlements commanding sweeping views of Monmouthshire's rolling hills. Built in 1067 by William the Conqueror's ally, William Fitzosborne, the castle is a monument to strength and survival, its stones bearing witness to sieges, rebellions, and royal intrigues. Yet, for all its grandeur, Chepstow harbors a darker legacy, one that lingers in the shadows of its corridors and whispers through its arrow-slit windows. Here, the ghost of Henry Marten, a 17th-century regicide, is said to haunt the very tower where he was imprisoned. His restless spirit a testament to a life of ambition, betrayal, and unrelenting remorse. Henry Marten's story is one of meteoric rise and catastrophic fall, entwined with the seismic upheavals of the English Civil War. Born in 1602 to a wealthy Oxfordshire family, Marten was a fiery Puritan and a radical thinker, his sharp wit and unyielding principles propelling him into the heart of England's political maelstrom. As a member of Parliament, he championed republican ideals, railing against the divine right of kings and advocating for a commonwealth free of monarchy. In 1649, his zeal reached its zenith when he became one of the 59 judges who signed the death warrant of King Charles I, a regicidal act that shattered centuries of tradition and plunged England into uncharted waters. Hailed as a hero by parliamentarians, Marten was granted influence and prestige, his name synonymous with the new order. But the tides of history are fickle, and the restoration of the monarchy in 1660 under Charles II turned heroes into traitors. Branded a regicide, Marten was arrested in 1660, his once bold voice silenced by the clang of iron bars, spared the gallows through political maneuvering and family connections. He was sentenced to life imprisonment, his final years destined to unfold in the cold, damp confines of Chepstow Castle's Marten'sTower, a squat, fortified structure overlooking the Wye. The tower, with its narrow windows and thick stone walls, became his world, a stark contrast to the bustling halls of Westminster. Historical accounts paint a grim picture of Marten's imprisonment. His health withered, his spirit eroded by isolation, and his mind haunted by the spectre of the king's execution and the betrayal of former allies who now bowed to the restored crown. Some records claim he died in the tower in 1680, choking on a meal in a moment of grim irony. Others suggest he was briefly released, only to perish shortly after, his body broken by 2 decades of captivity. Regardless of the details, one question lingers. Did Marten's soul, burdened by his sins, find peace, or was it doomed to wander Chepstow's halls? The haunting of Henry Marten is as old as the castle's darkest legends, its roots tracing back to the 18th century, when servants and soldiers stationed at Chepstow began whispering of a presence in Marten'sTower. Visitors and staff today report a variety of eerie experiences, each tied to the tower's oppressive atmosphere. The most common sighting is a shadowy figure in period clothing, breeches, doublet, and a wide-brimmed hat, pacing the tower's spiral staircase or standing at its narrow windows, gazing toward the river as if awaiting a reprieve that never came. Witnesses describe the figure as fleeting, its form dissolving into the stone when approached, yet leaving a palpable sense of unrest. Heavy, deliberate footsteps echo through the tower's corridors, even when no one is present, their cadence suggesting a man weighed down by guilt. An oppressive chill, sharp as a winter gale, often accompanies these encounters, tightening the chest and raising goose flesh. It's as if someone is standing there, watching you, but when you look, there's nothing, says Anne Griffiths, a local historian who has spent decades researching Chepstow's past. The energy in Marten'sTower is palpable. It's heavy, like the air before a storm. I've felt it myself, a cold hand brushing my arm in the stairwell, though I was alone. It's Marten, or whatever's left of him. Griffith's account is one of many. In 1972, a groundskeeper reported seeing a man in old-fashioned garb vanish through a locked door in the tower, his face twisted with sorrow. In 2005, a tourist claimed her camera malfunctioned in the tower, only to later reveal a single, blurry image of a tall figure standing in a corner, though she swore the room was empty. Historical accounts of Marten's imprisonment offer clues to his spectral persistence. Letters he wrote from Chepstow, preserved in Oxford's Bodleian Library, reveal a man unraveling, paranoid, despairing, and tormented by the belief that his ideals had birthed only chaos. "I am a prisoner of my own making," he wrote in 1675, "and the king's blood stains my hands still." Such anguish, scholars argue, may have anchored his spirit to the tower, where his final years were spent in solitude. The earliest recorded haunting, from a 1723 castle log, describes a shadowed man troubling sentries at night, while 19th century visitors noted a melancholy presence that seemed to follow them through the tower's passages. By the Victorian era, Marten's ghost had become a fixture of local lore, drawing curious antiquarians and fueling Chepstow's reputation as a haunted stronghold. In recent decades, the haunting has attracted paranormal investigators eager to probe the castle's mysteries. In 2018, the Wales Paranormal Research Group conducted a multi-night investigation, equipping Marten'sTower with infrared cameras, electromagnetic field (EMF) detectors, and electronic voice phenomenon (EVP) recorders. Their findings were unsettling. Unexplained EMF spikes surged near the tower's central chamber, where Marten reportedly slept. Thermal imaging captured a cold, humanoid shape moving across the staircase, and EVP recordings yielded a faint, gravelly voice whispering justice and betrayed through bursts of static. "I don't know if I believe in ghosts," says Dr. Michael Evans, a historian who joined the investigation. "But after what we experienced, I'm not so sure. The tower feels alive with something, regret, maybe, or rage. It's as if Marten's still fighting his war." Chepstow's community has long grappled with Marten's legacy, blending fascination with unease. In the nearby town of Chepstow, the 3 Tons pub serves a Regicide's Lament Ale, its label depicting a ghostly figure in a tower, but locals speak of Marten with a mix of pride and caution. "He was a man of principle, but principles can curse you," says Gwen Thomas, a 70-year-old bookseller whose family has lived near the castle for generations. "My dad saw him once, in the 60s, standing by the Y at dusk. He said Marten's eyes were empty, like he was looking through time itself." The castle, now maintained by CAD as a heritage site, draws thousands of tourists annually, many lured by its ghostly reputation. Guided haunted Chepstow tours, especially popular around Halloween, recount Marten's tale, though some guides refuse to linger in the tower after dark, citing an unshakable sense of being watched. Folklore adds layers to the haunting, with some tales suggesting Marten's ghost is bound by a curse tied to the king's execution, a spectral penance for regicide. Others whisper that his spirit seeks forgiveness, wandering the tower in hopes of absolving his role in England's bloodiest schism. A 19th century Monmouthshire ballad, The Ghost of Marten'sTower, describes a soul in chains, forever torn by king's blood spilt, an oath forsworn. Whether these stories are myth or memory, they underscore the Hauntings' emotional weight, tying Martin's fate to the castle's stone and mortar. Chepstow Castle remains a place where history and the supernatural converge, its walls alive with the echoes of a turbulent past. Marten'sTower, with its damp air and shadowed corners, feels frozen in time, its silence broken only by the occasional creak of timber or the distant rush of the Wye. The portraits and artifacts displayed in the castle's museum of pikes, muskets, and Civil War banners seem to watch visitors as if guarding Martin's secret. Whether he is a spirit of remorse, a shadow of betrayal, or merely the product of collective memory, the ghost of Henry Marten endures as a poignant reminder of the personal costs of power and the scars of a nation divided. For those brave enough to climb the tower's winding stairs, the air grows heavier with each step, the light dimmer, the silence deeper. The river below murmurs as it did in Martin's day, carrying the weight of his choices. And in the quiet hours, when moonlight spills through the tower's slits and the castle stands empty, the faint sound of footsteps, or perhaps a whispered plea, reminds all who listen that some histories refuse to be forgotten, and some souls cannot find rest. Many thanks for treading this tale's dark path. If its chill gripped you, like, subscribe, and comment below.